I got up Saturday morning, and Jana noticed that maybe I wasn't quite myself. So she called over the next door neighbor who's a doctor.
You're actually telling the story as if you're much more compliant and cooperative.
I was cranky?
Yes.
Anyway, so she basically said, you've had a stroke, you're going to the hospital. And of course I said, I didn't have a stroke, that's ridiculous.
They ran all the tests, everything gets run through downtown. Dr. Garbaz is on the receiving end looking at it. They realized that it was something more, which is one of the huge pluses to the hospital because everything went downtown.
They saw a growth on the aortic valve. So the next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance and we went to Beth Israel Deaconess.
In the workup, we found out that he also had other issues in his heart and required, in addition to removing that tumor off his valve, required bypass surgery, and there was another little defect in the heart. Fortunately, BI-Needham has a very seamless integration with our system. The cardiologists at BI-Needham are BI Deaconess cardiologists, and the only difference is that the surgery is done in Boston, at the BI Deaconess in Boston.
It was just a very, very scary thing for all of us. So for me personally to know that I could bring him to a place where I had confidence, that I felt like he would get the best possible care and it would connect with the best doctors in the world in Boston seamlessly, to have the faith that that would happen, that part I felt like I nailed. I was like, okay, if nothing else, I got that covered and it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
A number of us work at both facilities. That's a huge advantage because when we have patients that have to go back and forth, the communication is key in making sure that if they get a big procedure, what happens is known by the doctors who sent them for the procedures.
We feel like we can take care of anything that comes in our doors, knowing that we have the capabilities to handle and resuscitate, to stabilize, to fix the immediate problems, and then also for things that we can't keep here, for example, pediatrics or severe trauma, can stabilize and transfer patients out to the hospitals that we have close collaborative relationship with, like Children's Hospital in Boston or any of the other hospitals that provide pediatric advanced care.
So he is the third of three, not that helpful. He is the youngest of three. He was a great kid, he was an easy kid. He loved motion, he loved anything with sports, and he is extremely well loved. It was a regular day. Tim and I went to work. The kids were playing a game with our sitter, and Lane put his arm through one of the French glass panes because it had 12 lights. And in the process, he severed a vein. And I remember getting the doctor on the phone and I said, you know, I don't understand. Is he going to be okay? And the doctor said to me, I don't know. You need to call 911, get a police escort, and get here now.
Our babysitter started calling 911 and Lane was kind of just like laying there, and then Liv and I
ran to the
neighbor's house,
like, right next door,
because she's a doctor.
Yeah, she's a doctor at the hospital.
And so we got her, and then she came back, and by that time, like, people had started to come, so we didn't ever go back inside the house, but like what our neighbor said is that she basically put her hand, I guess, like inside of his arm to stop the bleeding.
Thank God Erica knew what to do. I mean, she held on until the EMTs came, and then they all went over to BID-Needham. And when they determined that he could manage the flight, they put him on the helicopter to go downtown to Children's. I just remember getting on the phone with her at one point, and I just remember saying to her, do anything you can to get onto that helicopter with him, because if he does go, I didn't want him to be alone. And she did. over a 10-year time horizon, every man in my life has been touched either in minimal to significant ways by BID-Needham. At first, I didn't know why it would be important to have this quality care, but then all of a sudden when you're in the moment and you realize what a pivotal role it played, it's just, I'm so grateful for all that it does in the community and the role that it plays in our lives. You know, for us, it has a very special place.